My name is Reem. I'm the Marketing Communications Manager from Heliopolis University. I'll be hosting the webinar today. I would like to give you some information about, first of all, I would like to say Happy Earth Day to everyone. This is why we're here today. Welcome to our webinar within the framework of the Media for Future project. It's a collaborative Erasmus Plus initiative that is co-funded by the European Union, and it's implemented by 7 partners. The project works on enhancing climate communication by connecting scientists, experts in climate change with journalists who are looking to report on climate change and climate action. So how do we do this? Within the framework of the Media for Future project, we do it through our platform, climatejournalism.eu. We're going to put some links in the chat. You can have access through 4 activities. The first activity is we create an experts database where journalists can find it easy to connect with them to report on climate action. And then we also have a feature on the website that's called an information hub. This information hub is a curation of documents and information for journalists. They can look through it and they can do better reporting on climate change. And there's also the community of practice, which I will invite all of you to register in throughout our meeting and our webinar today. We're going to take the Q&A of the webinar after the time allowed into the community of practice so that we can keep an open discussion with our experts who are joining us today. And we also provide workshops and seminars and webinars such as today's webinar for journalists to enhance their climate reporting. I'd like to introduce also the project partners. We are Heliopolis University, and we're also joined with the Dublin University Forum. They are from Ireland, Forum for Journalists and Media from Austria, Wismar Educational Institute from Germany, DTS Foundation from Germany, Nave Natural Science Institute from Iceland, and University of Aveiro from Portugal. I would also like to give a brief overview of Heliopolis University and what we do. We are Heliopolis University for Sustainable Development, and we dedicate our higher education approach to the sustainable development of Egyptian communities. Our educational approach combines the selection of a faculty or school with unfolding the potential of our students through exploring arts and culture, as well as contributing to our community development initiatives across Egypt. We're the higher education and research arm of SECAM, which has been working on sustainable development of Egyptian communities since 1977. And we're actually going to be celebrating 50 years of sustainable development next year. In the past couple of years, SECAM was recognized as one of the champions of the earth by the United Nations for Environmental Program, and was also awarded the Gulbenkian Prize by Her Excellency Angela Merkel, the former Chancellor of Germany. Of course, feel free to connect with us, reach out to us anytime for any questions and collaborations. Now, I would like to introduce our speakers today. Joining me will be Dr. Ahmed Al-Shazly. He is Heliopolis University Vice President for Community Development and Partnerships. Also, Dr. Sameh, he is the Dean of the Faculty of Organic Agriculture at Heliopolis University, and Engineer Nagleh, who is a project manager at the Office Sponsored Programs in Heliopolis University. Can I hear some words from our guests? Dr. Ahmed?
Thank you very much for the invitation. Thanks, Reem, for the introduction. And really, this project is one of the projects that should have a real impact. And I remember a few years ago when we were applying for this, and although it is not a very big project when it comes to the funding and budget, but for the impact, I believe that this project, Media for Future, is very, very important to connect and to simplify the language that we are using as academicians and scientists, researchers, to the public through the journalists. Thank you, and looking forward for a fruitful seminar, webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Dr. Samah?
Yes, thank you so much. Very happy to be with you all. And I wish you a happy Earth Day, which is very important. And we will go through different things that we'll touch upon during our webinar. Thank you.
Engineer Naglé, can you say welcome for our guests?
Just landed from the south of Egypt to here, to Heliopolis University. Thank you for the invitation, Reem, on such celebration and responsibility day, Earth Day. And really, I'm excited not only to join this webinar, but to count on this for next steps. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask my first question to Dr. Ahmed. Can you tell us how does Heliopolis University network and international partnerships reflect its commitment to healing Earth through organic agriculture?
Actually, I would like to start first with trying to link the dots between SACEM and Heliopolis University and organic agriculture. And as you mentioned, Reem, since almost 50 years, SACEM started the journey with the idea of having the biodynamic and organic agriculture in the middle of the desert. I mean, during 1977, where SACEM were located, it was completely desert. And the idea came from Dr. Abul Aish, the founder of SACEM, who returned back from the beautiful city of Graz in Austria, where the green color is covering everything, to the desert in Egypt, with the idea of not only having organic agriculture and biodynamic agriculture, but also to have a sustainable community where we are linking between the people themselves and the socio-economic aspects related to them, education, health, I don't know, everything related to their lives, and the ecology or the environment. And during this period, Egypt was one of the major countries which were using chemical pesticides, chemical fertilizers, and one of the important importers of the pesticides worldwide. And he decided to go against the flow. And now, after 50 years, we have more than 15 companies working in organic food and beverages, herbal teas, organic textiles, natural pharmaceuticals, in addition to school, vocational training center, medical center, some NGOs, and in addition to Heliopolis University for Sustainable Development, which were inaugurated 14 years ago, with a focus on the sustainable development in its core mission, vision, and strategic goals. And interestingly, we are the only university in Egypt, and to have a faculty for organic agriculture. And when we started this, I think 7 years ago, it was the only university in the Middle East. I don't know now. I don't know if there is more faculties for organic agriculture in the Middle East, but during that time, it was the first one and the only one. And since we are a private university, I would like to add that we are the only private university in Egypt that has a faculty for organic agriculture. And I believe that my colleague Samah will give more about that. But I would like to add as well that we have several mechanisms for the promotion of climate action, organic agriculture, and sustainable water management and renewable energy, which are all connected and which are all important, and you can segregate between them. For instance, we have one of the most important centers in Egypt, which is a carbon footprint center, which is responsible for carbon footprint assessment for companies, for factories, but also, which is more important, for the farms. We are doing carbon footprint assessment. We are helping farms and farmers, especially the smallholder farmers, in order to have their carbon footprint. And my colleague Nagla as well will going to highlight more, I believe, on that. We have a center for organic agriculture in Egypt, which is a certified center worldwide from different certification bodies, and they hold the license of ISO and many other licenses and accreditations. And we have as well, and this is related more to your question, Reem, about the cooperation. Of course, cooperation, nobody can do anything alone. So we believe the cooperation, SECAM itself started by cooperation from different international bodies. But now we have at Heliobras University more than 30 projects funded from different funding bodies, including the European Union and its programs, Horizon Europe, Horizon 2020, PRIMA, Erasmus, ENI, CBC Med, Next Med, and more and more. And we are, all our projects are working in promotion of the quality of life, quality of food, and as well the environment. So we have projects on sustainable water management, on organic agriculture, and more. And with such networking and such cooperation and partnerships, we are able to doing research, doing development and implement on the ground, and as well to prototype some models which could be upscaled for incentivizing smallholder farmers and payment for the ecosystem services that they are doing in order to have them on board in our journey for the transition from the conventional agriculture to the organic and biodynamic agriculture. And I think in the second round, I can give more highlights on that.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for highlighting SECAM and Heliobras University partnerships and what we do. Now I would like to take my next question to Dr. Sameh. As the Dean of the Faculty of Organic Agriculture, can you tell us more about how the learning journey of the student happens, how climate action is integrated into the curriculum, and how we change the mindset of the students into understanding more about climate action?
Yes, thank you, Reem, for your question. First of all, I would like to say that we are unique in our faculty name, Faculty of Organic Agriculture, as mentioned by Dr. Ahmed, is the only Faculty of Organic Agriculture with this name in the Middle East. If we compare organic agriculture with conventional one, it's commonly known the differences between the farming system based on organic agriculture and the conventional one. And very, let's say, very quickly, these differences are making agriculture or cultivating plants without using chemicals, fertilizers, without using the pesticides, and also without using the MGOs, modified or GMOs, genetic modified organisms. This is very important. So for the journey that we take our students during their study plan in the Faculty of Organic Agriculture, as all faculties, we have, let's say, a theoretical part that is related to the knowledge that we have to give to our students, together with the most important part, which is the practical part, where our students should spend more time doing and practicing by themselves all the agricultural practices, starting from cultivating the plants, doing all the agricultural practicing, and knowing also what are the importance of these agricultural practices in terms of the climate change, adaptation, and mitigation. So what we are doing with our students in terms of climate change, mitigation, and adaptation, we give them, let's say, how they can produce organic fertilizers, how they can produce by themselves and prepare biodynamic fertilizers. These are very important when we speak about the climate change, adaptation, and mitigation. Also, we are giving them, let's say, knowledge about the regenerative practices, which is a very important point, that the students can gain a lot of skills, a lot of, let's say, knowledge and intellectual skills, how they can prepare for example, the biofertilizers, which can be used as an alternative for chemical fertilizers. The problem that we are facing now is the climate change are affecting negatively the yield of our plants, the yield of our crops. But what is the reason behind this? As you know, the reason behind this is, let's say, the fluctuating in the climate patterns in the long run. So how to deal with this, how to manage this? So the students should get knowledge and hands-on and practices on how to make agricultural practices combating and fighting the climate change. This including the compost, for example, producing. So our students are visiting our farm here at Seikam Farm, and also they are going outside and visiting external farms, asking them about their problems that they are encountered and facing during their visits, and then suggesting by themselves what could be the solutions for these problems. Also, we give them information about the soil health. And soil health, as you know, in a simple way, it is the ability of the soil to support the plant growth without being degraded or without harming the environment, which is a very important topic in terms of climate change. This is what we are, let's say, teaching our students as theoretical knowledge and as practical lessons. Also, I would like to add that the students of our faculty are able to make, let's say, different planning on how to reduce the impact of climate change, how to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. For example, as you know, the greenhouse gas emissions are the main responsible, and the agriculture sectors is responsible for almost 23% of the greenhouse gas emissions. And that's why we drive the attention of our students about the different agricultural practices that reduce the greenhouse gas emission, that increase the soil capacity to sequester more carbon, and all these different activities.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Sameh, for the overview on the educational journey of our students at Heliopolis University. And now, Engineer Nagleh, from your perspective of someone who works on the ground as a project manager, can you tell us how do you change the farmers' mindsets to convince them to start transitioning from traditional to organic agriculture?
Thank you, Reem, for the question. It's a very difficult question, actually, but from the project management point of view, it's not only to change the farmers' mindsets, it's about convincing them with theory. It's about reducing their risk while they are making benefits visible, practical, and achieved. And this will happen through some things like trust, economic benefits, and proof. So what we are working from our side in Heliopolis University in project management with the farmers is that we motivate them through staple income clarification, how to secure markets, and to start by reducing their costs, increase their net income. This is not only to reframe organic agriculture, but to refer that organic agriculture is a solution, not an ideology. And this as well is connected with, as Dr. Ahmed mentioned, about the carbon credit scheme, which is generated to enhance the farmers' economic benefits beside the transition itself. Second point, the capacity building and the training, which make the farmer trust what they are doing and what they are seeing. Also, the demo plots. We do some demo plots for the farmers to raise the capacity building and to make it faster with credibility. Third point, that we treat them, we build the trust before the change. To treat with the farmers, they have to trust you first, not only with talks, but with some proofs. That's why we lead to work with the economic benefits, reflecting some numbers about the cost comparison between conventional agriculture and the organic and biodynamic agriculture, makes sense of what we are suffering at the moment worldwide, like the inflation rates, the high cost of the input supplies, the devaluation of our local currency and the other currencies, finding some solutions to raise their profits, to prove that it's not only a philosophy, it's something that it has to do with the transition that should be a must. We use as well some peer reviewers and influencers. We now work on, all people are using social media and others, and they know how the bloggers and influencers, TikTokers can have influence on hundreds and thousands. Even the revolutions comes through the social media, but we are using the social media to reflect realities, like to reflect the experiences from farmer to farmer, where the farmer is trusting their neighbors more than any expert or consultant. So we call those influencers through some trainings in the fields, and they share experiences, mistakes, and results, and how it could be impacted on others. So it's a collaborative actions. It's not only one action on one way, but it's reflected from us to the field and from the field to us to develop our methods, our ways of provenance to the farmers. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Nagleh. And now from local perspective to international perspective, I would like to ask Dr. Ahmed about his participation in COP30 in Belém, Brazil. As a representative for our call to action, agriculture is part of the solution, which highlights that agri-food systems face a huge amount of hidden costs. Can you tell us how does HU work with social initiatives to reveal these costs to the public?
Yes, first I would like to thank Nagleh so much that she highlighted something very important. Of course, we are caring about the earth and we are caring about the ecological dimension, but the most important thing that people themselves. So she mentioned that we are caring first for the security and building trust with the smallholder farmers, because we believe that those are the climate heroes. Because simply they are producing the food that we eat, which is affecting everything. So this was very important. Actually, our message since COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, passing by COP28 in Dubai and COP29 in Baku and COP30 in Belém, as well the COP16 of the UNCCD for desertification in Riyadh 2 years ago. It's simply about the conversion of farmers from the organic, from the conventional to organic agriculture. And this is not an easy, it's very easy when you say it, but when you do it, it's very easy. How can you convince the farmers? How can you build the trust, as Naglaa mentioned? This is something very important. And we discovered that the simplest way is the payment for the ecosystem services. Do they do ecosystem services? Yes, of course. They are planting trees in their fields, and the trees are sequestering and absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. They are using the animal and plant wastes as fertilizers, which enhances soil conditions, which itself, with the interface with the atmosphere, it sequesters carbon dioxide. Not only that, but are avoiding the emissions that coming from the animal waste, like the methane, and we are avoiding emissions and putting it as a natural fertilizers in the soil. In addition to using the solar energy in irrigation and agriculture practices instead of the fossil fuels. So they are doing ecosystem services. But again, it's not only about the ecosystem services, it's not only about the climate change. We are aiming as well to enhance the livelihood of those farmers through the carbon credits. And we did a lot in the carbon credits story, and I believe Sameh will highlight more on that. But just to give you an idea that we spent more than 2 years working with the Egyptian stock exchange or Egyptian stock market and the Egyptian Financial Regulatory Authority to have a robust governance model, which must be, because it is belonging to the government, which must be very transparent and very has a high degree of integrity. And as well, when we have a lot of organic products, because we are dealing with the smallholder farmers, and we have agreement with them that they are selling their organic products in a conventional prices. And when you have that, at the end of the day, you have more organic products with low prices. So this will enhance the health of the people. So it's a win-win relationship. And here I would like to highlight about the cost. Everybody thinks that the organic products are much more expensive than the other products, the conventional products. And this is true if you calculate it by the means of the prices on the shelves in the supermarkets. But actually, we didn't consider the externalized and the hidden costs. And this is something we did since many years about the true cost accounting. Did we include the cost for the problems that we are causing for the soil, the high amount of water used in the conventional agriculture, the problems that which are coming from eating the food with pesticides and chemical fertilizers and etc. So all these things must be calculated, and when you calculate it, you will find the organic products are much cheaper than the conventional products. So this is something took years from us, and finally it has been this model of giving or incentivizing the smallholder farmers with the revenues of the carbon credit, which they are putting on the stock exchange, and helping companies to offset their emissions. It took years, and now it's something working. Yes, we are at the beginning. We need more support. We need more funding, but it will work. It will come, and it started to come. And as Reem mentioned, we had award of the Champions of the Earth from the UNEP last year, and before that, the Gulbenkian Prize for Humanity 2 years ago. And those institutions endorsed our project, our flagship project, and we managed to have more than 40,000 farmers in between 2022 and 2025. And now we are in the upscaling phase to 250,000 farmers by the end of 2027.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for your insights. And now, following Dr. Ahmed's explanation, Engineer Naglait, can you tell us more about how the implementation work for the call to action of organic agriculture as part of the solution and the 40,000 farmers project? Can you give us more insights, please?
Yes. After what I had mentioned about the trust and the journey with the farmers, starting from trust, accompany him in the field, reflecting economics and true cost accounting and these things, we present to him very important dimension, which is related to values and ethics, which gives deeper meaning of the transition, like how to have the family health, soil health, reduction of poison of our lives and our food. And this comes from reflecting economic groups and even to be more responsible, not only for yourself as farmer, but as well for the earth and for your neighbors and for your community. This is a homework, and this is a responsibility during our lives on the earth. What we are doing with our farmers is to design tailored training programs and modules, which based on needs. I mean that in certain area, they are seeking for a consultant in certain topics like biocontrol. In certain topics, they need crop production, like vegetables, like fruits. How to reduce the soil salinity, how to deal with some certain infections inside their communities. So we tailor these programs and we train two of kinds of consultants, kind of extension engineers. They have to be trained well to reply the questions of the farmers, to give them visits, and to train our experts who are professors in the field, and they give field visits to all the farmers inside the fields. So this is very important. Second, these tailored modules are being given attention to deliver about certification, economy of love, certification, how to convert to organic agriculture, how to market your products and produce your product for contracting farming. And this is very important, and this is what they are seeking for. The most important, if I ask them to transit from conventional to organic, how they can get their organic input supplies inside the rural areas. So we encourage all the farmers inside the rural areas to open like organic input supply centers. This is not a sponsored or financing or funding. This is to make a networking of selected input supplies of the biofertilization and the biocontrol, and to connect those producers in a catalog which is being changed from time to time according to the registration of the products, and to connect those producers with the farmers so that they can make it available inside the rural areas. So now it will be available, and this creates not only an awareness inside the rural areas, but as well it increases the entrepreneurial people who want to trade in organic input supplies. Sorry?
Yeah.
I mean the organic input supplies, which is alternative to the chemical one. So, do you have any question? Sorry. We encourage our farmers inside the rural areas to deal with this inside the rural areas and to make it available and easy access to all the farmers if you are asking them for the transition. Second, we encourage them as well and create based on needs and questionnaires and asking what skills they need to learn. So we create learning videos in certain topics they need of. Third things that we use, as I mentioned, peer reviewers, but not only the peer reviewers, we ask the farmers to tell their stories. I mean that there is some theory of a change, and this will not come all of a sudden. There is a motivation for a change that some of the farmers will talk about the benefits they got, the transition they have, the sense and the economic profit that had been achieved along with the journey of the transition. And this is the motivation for a change. And there is another factor of a change, which is learning by shock, that some people are suffering from some diseases related to water and related to food and related even of using and spraying chemicals inside the fields. So they tell their stories to prevent others to do the same. So these stories are really benefit the others and have a big influence. That's why from time to time, we select some influencers to tell their stories to the others and tell the others how they feel and how they test and how they see the change inside their personal lives. Second thing which is very important, that not only this an action and this only what is presented, we're still learning from the farmers, we still get some information based on regular basis from our extension engineers and the consultants and the field visits, and even from us as project managers, we get into the field to talk to the people in a simple way and test their needs. This is what I can say at the moment.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Engineer Naglea, for giving us an overview of the work that happens with the Egyptian farmers. I would like to remind everyone that I posted the link for the community of practice on the Media for Future website. In the Q&A, please head to the website and create your profiles to stay engaged in the discussion. And now my next question to Dr. Sameh. In regard to research and innovative solutions, can you tell us some of the latest findings to resolve the climate change issue?
Yes, thank you, Reem. Of course, we have many projects. Some of them are running, some of them are completed very recently, such as the project that has completed very recently called Farms for Climate. And let me give you a quick overview about the idea of this, which is very important to mitigate the climate change. So in this project, we established a living lab in the Western Desert in Wahad. So what we have used there in this living lab is what we call it enhanced rock weathering, where we have used the basalt powder as an alternative for two different purposes. The first one, that to test if it can be considered as an alternative for some nutrient that are essential to the plant. The second one is to study its potential to be considered as a carbon sequestration. So, and we got a very, let's say, important findings from this. We have tested the basalt powder into different trials, mixed with compost at different ratio. We have used in this trial two different ratios. So the final result that we got is that basalt enhanced a lot the content of potassium, which is one of the most used chemical fertilizer in Egypt, especially when we speak about the fruits and vegetables in its quality after fruit set. So this is one benefit that we get from this. The second one, it is also an alternative source for calcium and magnesium, because as you know, the basalt is an igneous rock. So the rocks to be converted to soil or to be diluted to form different clay minerals, which is very important to plant growth, it needs what we call it geological time. And geological time, by definition, needs thousands, millions of years to convert a rock from its, let's say, original form to be a soil that can support the plant growth. So what we have done in this trial is that we crushed the rock using a mill and then make its particle size very fine, reaching, if I'm not mistaken, 26 micron in diameter. And this has enhanced a lot the solution rate of basalt, of this powder. And this gives very good results about the releasing of different nutrients that are needed for the plant. On the other purpose, which is testing its potential to be a carbon sequestration tool, we still have the experiment running now, just to be sure about if it can be considered as a carbon sequestration tool or not, and the work still in progress for this. So we have also different, let's say, projects that are running now, which is SAS Soil, where the HU is a partner. And the main idea is to establish also 15 living labs with the objective of, let's say, keeping the subsoil layer, because as you know, the soils have different layers, the topsoil and the subsoil. So what are the most, let's say, suitable practices that keep the carbon in the subsoil without being in direct contact with the atmosphere? Because once you make tillage in the soil, you make bluffing in the soil. So this means that you are making aeration in the soil, which make the oxygen of the atmosphere reacts with the organic carbon present in the soil, and then it can be converted into the form of gas, which is carbon dioxide, and then this gas can be volatilized at the end, which contribute very negatively to the climate action. So this is very important projects. And of course, we had many projects related to the sustainable agriculture in general. And sustainable agriculture is how to, let's say, maximize the productivity of our plants, and concurrently how to minimize the agricultural input cost, and at the same time we have to reduce the environmental impact. And all the projects that we are running now are targeting this aim with maximizing the productivity, minimizing the agricultural inputs, and reducing the environmental impact. That's all.
Thank you, Dr. Sameh, for explaining this. I hope it was simple enough for me to understand. I hope it was simple enough for everyone in the audience as well. My next question to Dr. Ahmed, with Heliopolis University as a lead partner in the Media for Future project, and from your perspective as Vice President for Community Development and Partnerships, in your opinion, why is the collaboration between scientists and journalists crucial to mainstreaming organic agriculture as essential for climate action and climate change?
I would not say a lot in that. And I will take an example of what Sameh already mentioned now. It is very difficult for the public to understand what does weathering mean, and what is basalt, and what is igneous rocks, and what are the nutrients, and potassium, and how many microns that you are grinded the basalt, etc. And to be honest, this is not a problem of the public. We have to be simple, and we have to deliver our message as simple as we can. Not only for the public, of course, it's important for the public, and it is the role of the journalists. And when I say journalists, it's not about the traditional and the conventional ways of media, like newspapers and these things, but also for the digital. We are in the digital world now. And as you mentioned, as Nagla mentioned, social media and the digital tools that we are using. So this is an important role for the journalists. But also this, this approach of simplifying the science to not only the public, but also for the decision makers. This is very important. I believe that when you deliver a message about the carbon farming to a minister or to someone who has a decision in a very complicated scientific way, because you have done as a researcher a great work in 2, 3, 4 years doing research, publishing papers, trying to verify your results, etc. And you want to show how hard the work you have done. So you are putting a lot of information, scientific expressions in your paper, and these cannot be delivered simply to the decision makers and the people who are working, who are responsible for the climate action. So this project and such a kind of projects is very important to try to choose the appropriate way or the appropriate platform or the appropriate media for delivering your important messages.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. And now my question to Dr. Sameh, can you please tell us and explain to us as an expert, as a scientist, how carbon sequestration works in the soil in simple terms for our attendees?
I am mute. Okay. Now you can hear me, I think.
Yes.
Okay, Reem. Whenever I mentioned the carbon sequestration, first, I think it's very important to know what's meant by carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration, in a simple word, is the process of capturing and storing the carbon into the soil or into different forms. One of them in the soil. The other one can be in the plant itself, because the plants, as you know, contains more or less 90–95% of its composition as organic matter. Organic matter means carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So most of the carbon can be present in the plants. So back to the carbon sequestration in the soil, as I mentioned, it is how to increase the soil capacity to sequester, to capture, to store more carbon from the atmospheric air. You know that the carbon dioxide concentration in the atmospheric air is almost 400 ppm, parts per million, which is higher than the previous decade. So this is one of the factors that affecting our climate change. So the soil carbon sequestration, we can increase its capacity to sequester more carbon by doing and conducting different agricultural practices. One of them is not to tillage the soil. As I mentioned before, tilling the soil means aeration, means oxidation, means emission of the carbon dioxide to the atmosphere again. So what are the beneficial agricultural practices? Some of them, we can say in a simple word, cover crops. We can use mulching, where we can cover the soil with any plant residue. And this has many advantages to the plant that is grown in the soil. So it reduces the evaporation of the water. This means that increase the moisture content in the soil. I don't want to get into details, but I would say that the good agricultural practices can help too much in increasing the soil capacity to sequester more carbon. So one of them, using the no-tillage agriculture, cover crops, green manures, where we can grow some plants to a certain level of growth, and then we can disc it again into the soil, just to warming up the soil and to increase its organic matter content. So when we increase the organic matter content in the soil, this means that we are sequestering more carbon. Instead of leaving all plant residue on the top of the soil, with the time they will be decomposed, and decomposition in this context means that it will be oxidized and then get more carbon dioxide emissions.
Thank you, Dr. Samer.
The message is clear.
Yeah. I hope it was clear for our audience as well. Now from science to on-ground activities, Engineer Naglé, can you tell us how does HU support farmers during their transition journey to organic agriculture?
Thank you, Reem, for the question. Actually, that it's on the ground. So we accompany farmers and we have a continuous and hands-on trainings side by side in their fields to adopt solution to their realities. So here transition becomes a learning journey, not only a risk or a thought or a theory, it's reality. Second, we connect with them the awareness ecology with economics through the economy of love approach. Healthy soil, reducing chemicals, lower costing, better practice to better markets to market their products. So here the farmer is in a position to be stronger in the value chain. So here sustainability becomes economically valuable and not just environmentally desired. Second, or third, that we are talking about agriculture. So there are two words. So we are talking about agriculture, but we give them the culture to create living learning spaces for them. So they are not isolated from the culture, from talking, from expressing themselves, but as well we adopt them and we host them in many events, which are in the fields, in their areas, or in second festivals, or even in the space of culture to have some dialogues within their areas to talk and to see some of the arts and the theater presented by the Heliopolis University core program. So which is different to them to have a theater which presents a problem or selected topic to fit their environment and their thinking and thoughts and some problems. So here agriculture is to reconnect with values and the identity and awareness. So within this, we are connected with our farmers through large social movement. It's not only a connection through agriculture and field visits. Something that had happened the last year through Heliopolis University, which is the Farmer Health Project, which is being presented with the Integrative Health Center to present the analysis and the awareness of the health within the selected areas to reflect actually what is the health issues that comes from using chemicals compared to the organic agriculture farmers. So these are not reflected only from economics, but as well from health perspective. And this is ongoing process to have some results to be presented to others. And not only this, this includes some farmers, I mean chronic diseases that might be having solutions through the analysis, and to integrate them, not only to have the disease, but at least to give them some protection before the disease happens. So these are some of the motivations and some of the topics that we are working to have hands-on with the farmers and ongoing process. That's why our system in Heliopolis University is not only to give a project or an activity and that's it and reflected in a report, but it's continuous follow-up, continuous problem-solving support, so the farmers will not find themselves alone after the training, but as well to be included in an approach that's an ongoing process. So transition is not only a one-time decision, it's a process of a change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Naglé. And now I would like to invite our guest speakers to give a final comment on Earth Day. And we'll start with Dr. Ahmed.
Yes, maybe I can end with a sentence that I like very much, which says, small acts, when multiplied by millions of people, can transform the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Dr. Samah?
Yes, Reem, I would say happy Earth Day, and I would like also to highlight that healthy soil is one of the pillars to have healthy earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Samah. And now Engineer Naglé.
Today in Earth Day, it's not only a celebration, it's a responsibility where we are having an open questions for ourselves, what we are leaving behind on the earth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now I invite all the attendees, if you have a question, please raise your hand or post it in the Q&A panel. We're going to take a few questions. Dr. Wael.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to listen to the experts, my colleagues from Heliopolis University. I heard Dr. Ahmed Shazly talking about the plan to engage 250,000 farmers for transformation from traditional agriculture into organic agriculture by 2027 or maybe 2028. And currently we reached 80,000, which is a very promising number. But I would like to know from now to the end of next year, what is the plan to make sure that we can engage in reality these 250,000 farmers? Do we have a plan for that? What are the incentives to increase the number? Are we going for training of trainees, or what is the mechanism to do that? Thank you.
Yes, I said that, but I can say yes, we have a plan and a clear plan, and I give that to the champion who is doing the work on the ground.
Thanks. Any further questions?
No, sorry, we have to answer the question, Reem. I mean, the champion, she knows herself. She has to reply.
Engineer Naglé.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Dr. Wael, yes, we have a plan, and the plan is being evaluated from time to time to check what are the services that really we are presenting and how it really reach the farmers inside their farms and whether it's effective or not. All of these are being measured on a certain methodology, not only to give the incentives, and again, the transition is only carbon credit incentive. It's a holistic approach of change. So the farmers to transit from conventional to organic or to biodynamic to gain carbon credits, at least he's waiting for 2 years. So if we are seeking only or to give the farmers economic benefit awareness, he will not have this kind of patient, but he has to test other benefits through the transition. They are seeking to cut off, for instance, the middle trader to maximize his benefit. He's looking for better access to the markets, in the local markets. So, and by the Egyptian Vision 2030, the organic law activation will be done. So it's a must that they will have to transit before this time. Otherwise, they will find themselves lost within the economic changes all over the worldwide in general. Yes, we are working in a methodology and in a plan, but we are a bit not in a hurry to reach numbers, but to reach the quality-wise. Thank you.
If I may add here, Dr. Wael, we have a limitation, and we have to be honest, we have a limitation. What is a limitation? To have carbon credits, you have to have companies which want to offset their emissions. Again, we are speaking about a voluntary carbon market. So the farmers need to sell their credits in order to have 100% credibility on that system. So we are now in the phase of negotiation with the Egyptian Financial Regulatory Authority, which is helping us a lot. And they, 1 month ago, they issued a declaration or a decree that companies must offset companies must have their carbon footprint assessment. This is number one. Number two, they must offset as a beginning 20% of their emissions. Of course, not only through our agricultural carbon credit, but also through any other mechanisms. But at least this is a step forward in order to guarantee that there is a demand on the market for the carbon credits that we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. And now Raquel, she has a question.
So hello, everybody. Greetings from Aveiro, Portugal. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for all this, to all the speakers and to all the colleagues that join us. So you have been talking about convincing the farmers from the heart, let's say convincing that they are actually doing the transition for a good cause. But I would like to also to know your opinion. How can small-scale farmers realistically can do the transition to organic agriculture while maintaining economic sustainability? What do you think about that?
That's a very nice question, Raquel. I think Engineer Naglaa will take over, yeah.
Yes, addressing again your question, it's not only, yes, we are working with love because this is the economy of love. That's why we use both terms, economy before love, because people have to feed themselves first before having the emotions. And they need to educate their child. This is the realities. They need to treat their diseases. They need to find at least what they will secure their food in the next days. And instead of waiting for the chemicals, they want to compete with many, many different things while they are waiting for their crops to be raised and to sell it in the local market, whether it will be marketed with a good price or not, or being sold to the traders. So we use first the economy, but it's combined with ethics and with social dimension. So we, as we talked in the panel, that we accompany the farmers with many different methods. While we have the trainings, we have experts, we deal with field visits, we have demo plots, we have many, many learning methodologies with the farmers. We have trained extension engineers where they can serve all these numbers of people inside their fields, not only to sit in the farm and only have theoretical talks. It's in the field, it's realities, connect them with alternative of input supplies, which is less in the price, addressing some other tactical issues like the fuel. We see that because of the war, we have increased in the diesel, although we are not part of the war. But all the farmers in Egypt, and we are all as citizens, are suffering now from the high increase of the fuels, which makes anything to be transported within Egypt higher. Input supplies higher, whether it's chemical or organic. Transport the crops from the field to any selling point, even in their areas, higher. Many, many things are affected with the transportation and the economic dimension of the fuel. And this makes the electricity higher, consumption of the diesel higher, many things that are affected to produce only in the field. So if the farmer have not convinced, not only theoretically, but at least with the challenges that he is having in the field, he will not give a hand or an ear to transit. And he is seeing his neighbors. If he had the transition methods and he sold his product in a better market. So there is a drive or a driver for a change.
If I may add as well to Naglaa.
Yes.
First, thanks, Raquel, for your question. Of course, the economic dimension is very important, and I will try to be very pragmatic and very practical. In many cases, farmers got from selling the carbon credits more income than from selling their crops. It depends on the project that they are developing, whether they are using solar energy or not. This is increasing the carbon credits, the carbon sequestration that they have. In addition, and this is an opportunity and a limitation as well. Opportunity for them that we are supporting them with compost machines. We are supporting them with the solar panels. Of course, it is in the form of microloans with 0 interest and 5% administrative. Correct me, Naglaa, if I'm wrong. 5% only administrative fees, and they are paying that after selling their credits. So they are paying back that. So this could be considered as a donation for them. This is an opportunity, but the limitation that we cannot do this on our own account. So we are using donations, we are using funds from the projects, from different funding sources, in order to be able to support them at the first stage. But of course, we need to have this system automatic, which means that it must be a high demand on the credits in order to allow them selling their crops, selling their credits, and then the process will be something business as usual. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your answers. And I would like to invite our attendees, if anyone has any question, please raise your hand. I've also posted the evaluation form for our webinar today in the Q&A, so please feel free to fill it in to let us know about your experience. Anybody else would like to add any questions? Dr. Wael, please.
Yes, actually, I'm giving a food for thought, something to just think about it, because I don't need to have answer now, because we might not have the answer now. I was talking to one of my friends from Georgetown University, United States yesterday, and agriculture worldwide proved very good for the farmers, very good for the environment, but not so good for the human health. And he said, not all the minerals needed for human body can come from regenerative agriculture crops or products, because it lacks a little bit of some minerals like iron, for example. So it is something I cannot verify. I cannot say yes or no unless we have like analysis for short and medium long time on the crop ingredients and also on the human health of those who are consuming those crops. So just I'm throwing this question to think about it and see if we can compensate. Maybe this is not, or if it is correct, we might compensate by other vitamins or minerals on some other sources. I'm not sure, but it's a kind of a question for our thoughts to think about it. Thank you very much.
May I comment?
Please.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wael, for your question, but I would like to highlight that for the lacking of the iron in the plant, the iron is one of the essential elements that the plants cannot grow without it. So most plants should include a certain amount of iron, because we have different types of nutrients, different types of elements that should be present in the soil so that the plant can complete its life cycle without or in the absence of any elements like iron, magnesium, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and so on. The plants cannot complete their life cycle. So all plants should have at least a certain amount of all these essential elements. That's what I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
So I'm happy to present to know that, because now I can respond to him again and say, no, you are not correct. You have to adjust your mind. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sameh, Dr. Ahmed, and Engineer Nagleh for your participation today. Thank you for our lovely attendees who joined us today for the celebration of Earth Day and becoming a part of the Media for Future journey. And if no one else has any questions, I would like to finalize the meeting and the webinar. And thank you so much.